We haven't been tracking the episodes neither. So this is episode. We'll start. I'll go back and do that before we start the next one. I'll do that sometime this week.
Sure, you will.
I will. All right, cool. So we are live. Everyone that's hopping in, go ahead and give the video a thumbs. Oh, we got a thumbs down right away. Boom! Someone hopped in. Look at.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, winning. Everyone that's hopping in, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. You see how that person? There was one person that hopped in, was one watching. Give the video a thumbs down, and then disappeared. So the watchers went away. That's pretty cool. So obviously, they're not watching it.
Oh God, that's so funny.
Maybe I clicked the wrong button.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how they think that's gonna affect anything. I don't know.
We got 2 thumbs down. It's awesome.
3. Oh, here it comes.
Bring it.
Going for a record.
Bring the hate.
I think it might. Oh no, am I allowed to? Because I'm pretty sure I know who's doing that. If they're doing that, I'm allowed to be. I'm not gonna be mean, but
whatever.
Yeah. Everyone that's hopping in, we have Ken on the show. Let's see. What was I gonna say? Also, too, if you guys are new to the show, we do have. Someone brought their thumbs down away. We do have the free Facebook group down below. Me and Matt we're in there. Sometimes I know Matt gets a little frustrated, but then I calm him down.
Oh, you please don't act like you don't take vacations. Also, that's why we work well together.
Also, we have the Facebook group to Trademark Watchdogs. If you guys are not in that group, go ahead and join that group. And we do have the top secret research project #1, volume #1, right down below too. If you guys haven't purchased that for the month. It's only $10. Me and Matt put some research together. I know Ken don't approve of some of this, but we love you though. We love you, so that's all that matters.
You're already bringing me the hate.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's start off with the last 7 days. If you guys see the title, there's something right there. 125K profit for 2018. We'll let Ken explain that a little bit later on. So last 7 days, I'm at $586 shirts sold or products sold at $1,964.
I'm at 524 for 1877.21. And Ken can embarrass us now.
Dun, 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 dun.
What's that for this week?
Yeah, this last 7 days.
13,000.
Woo. All right. If you guys do not have any questions, or to start off with this, if you guys don't have any questions for Ken by 5:30 or 30 minutes into the show, I'm gonna be mad at you guys. He said 13,000, and you guys should have a lot of questions for him right there. I'm gonna go ahead and post this in the groups.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. What else is going on, Ken? What's been going on in your life the last week?
I know, just having fun, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
I do have to say, and I've said this in the groups publicly, but I want to say it here. For as much hate as merch gets whenever something goes wrong, I don't think they get near enough props for when something goes right, because this December has been such a smashing success. It's ridiculous.
I've been preaching it for how long? I mean, it's been my opinion. I haven't had any inside scoop on it, but I've been saying I didn't think there'd be a throttle this year.
Yeah, I mean, Laura she kind of mentioned that they didn't think it was going to happen, but it's been impressive.
I mean, I said that I didn't think there'd be a throttle. They might play around, but I thought they had capacity, and that by about the 18th to the 20th is when we're going to see the drop-off. And Today we're seeing the drop-off. We're seeing more cancellations. It's still a great day. I mean, it's still rocking the numbers, but tomorrow will drop off, and the 20th, 21st, I think you'll see it just hit a wall. And then it picks up a little after Christmas. In January, it's interesting. People talk about how bad January is. I look at the numbers the last 2 years. January is not that bad. It's bad compared to December, but it's a good month.
Yeah, no, January was good for us last year. February was we had something take off, and then towards the end of January, beginning of February for Valentine's Day, and then March was good with St. Patrick's Day.
I mean, March and April. If you don't have St. Patrick's Day or one of the holidays, those 2 months suck. They suck.
Yeah. Also, too, well, we forgot to say Anthony didn't come on today because he's sick. Sorry about that. Yeah, Anthony couldn't make it.
He's got a throat infection, he said.
I'm posting in a few more on the social media so that way we can get this going.
We need an intern, man. We do. Seriously, we need somebody to handle all this stuff so we can just do the show. Yeah, I think if at the beginning of the year, if you are not at least making attempts at like some of the bigger holidays and events, you're going to have a slow beginning of your year. Like if you're not doing, St. Patrick's Day, that's really stupid. St. Patrick's Day is pretty much the biggest shirt time other than December.
Pardon me. What did you just say? I'm stupid?
No, I said if you're not doing St. Patrick's Day, if you're not making it,
I don't go after the holidays.
Yeah, but you still take a swing.
I'll take little swings. I mean, I take little bunts into little areas I want to go after.
But if you're not taking a swing, if you're just ignoring the holidays, I think it's a mistake.
Yeah. But then on the flip side of that, you get into December on holidays right now. I mean, I've seen some people that are crushing it with holiday shirts, with Christmas shirts. I don't know. I guess it doesn't appeal to me, and I'd rather just have really good evergreen content, and you get really consistent numbers through December, even in a throttle that way, because you're not focused on needing that 5,000 BSR shirt to hammer it, and then when it gets throttled and you lose it, you have nothing to fall back on.
That's been kind of the amazing thing for this December, though. Like I have one of those 5,000 BSR shirts, and it never got throttled once. Like it was actually, It's pretty incredible how steady it's been.
Yeah, I have a whole handful of those 25 to 55,000, and they're just great.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to see a shirt that's selling, 7 to 9 shirts in a day, and only has 110,000 BSR.
Right. Yeah, I know. I've noticed that too. It's just like I have one shirt that's been doing that, and I'm like, I keep expecting the BSR to drop more, but it's just how much volume is being sold.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good now. I also had to post it on Instagram and Snapchat and just get it in the story.
You still posting to Snapchat?
Yeah, I still do it. I get some views on there. I get people that come on. I talked to a few people. There's a guy named Nick. He's on there. I talked to him. There's a few people that I talked to on Snapchat, and
I have not been on Snapchat in a while.
Yeah.
Not ever since Instagram came out with stories.
All right. I know. It has dropped off quite a bit for sure.
Yeah. Let's get into it. All right. We want to start. The topic of the show is 2019, right?
2019, yes.
I think it's a good way to start it off, right? Like basically, what do you see? And we brought Ken on because Ken is as good as important a voice in merch as there is. What do you see for 2019, Ken? What do you see for our future?
Well, I think you can look at what already occurred to look at some of the things that are going to happen. The ASIN change, as much as the Cyber Monday sucked, they know it sucked for a lot of the old-time sellers and old shirts, but that was, I think, a perfect storm from the conversation that I get from them. They were scrambling a little with it too, but that was short-term pain for long-term gain was the way it was explained to me from merch. What does that tell you? What it tells you is that change was necessary for changes that they're making next year. And I think you're going to see some changes in the dashboard and how we upload and things like that. So nothing firm, but obviously if they need to make those changes, there's changes coming. I think we saw this year a change in how tiers were handed out. Massive upgrades for people where there are tens of thousands of tiers that only had so many thousand shirts. Well, I mean, the please going out, list it on hoodies, list your good stuff on pop sockets, list it. And I know a really big push right now is list your stuff on Europe. That's a nugget I'll share with you right now. I probably shouldn't share it because I'm a little greedy. Numbers for Europe have been pretty good for me for December for the work that I put into it. It's nothing like Merch USA is, but Germany and the UK have been good numbers, and those people that want to put stuff up there are going to be rewarded, I think. The catalog isn't all that big over there because people are ignoring it. They think the work they put into it isn't worth it. And yeah, the way you upload right now, it probably is a lot of work for the payback, but I think some things will change next year that'll make that a little easier.
Okay, that's good.
I think we had someone else say that too, right? That they're getting good results from.
I know a couple of people that have done pretty well in Europe over the last couple of weeks.
I'm doing 50, 60 a day in Germany.
Right. Nice. I do know that the German side seems to have been better than the UK for a lot of people. Are you having somebody translate your listings, or are you just using Google Translate?
Google Translate, or just putting them up on English right now, just getting listed, because a lot of people speak English. Yeah, it's best if you had really good German lingo on there, but you know what? The beta project was all English, and I mean, anybody that was in the beta with a number of designs was making anywhere between $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. I mean, that sucked when the beta left, because I was making $3,000, $4,000 a month off the beta.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Germany is much bigger than the UK, though.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's talk about something that I thought was interesting that not a lot of people may have seen, because you talked about it in your group. You decided to run a little bit of an economic experiment with your pop sockets going into Q4. So Ken decided you dropped everything to $11.99, I think you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. On like 7,000 pop sockets, I think is what you said. Why?
You know what? A lot of them were new listings. Double ups on the beta program. The beta program was a bit of a pain. A lot of stuff was screwed up. So I'm like, you know what? I want my stuff up there. I know it can compete. So let's hit it with the best holiday season when you got the best traffic on Amazon, and put it at the lowest price and hit these competitive niches.
Okay. Have you seen results, do you think? Do you think it's made a difference?
Oh yeah, I'm cracking into some. I'm noticing some pop sockets now selling every day, selling 2, 3, 4 a day, into very competitive niches that there's no way that you'd have just jumped in there with them.
Right.
So you know what? I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Part of it was talking to Neil, and he's always bugged me. Go in low, undercut everybody, and then move it up. And you know what? What better time to do it? Because I wasn't losing anything anyway.
Right. It's not like you were making money on them to begin with.
Yeah.
What's the royalty cut on that right there? $11.99.
19 cents.
19 cents. Cool. Okay. And now have you got any reviews at all yet?
Yeah, I've actually started to already get some reviews on pop sockets, because they were shipping pretty quick.
Yeah.
But here's my thought: just let it ride through the holidays. Get into January and start running a spreadsheet and seeing what's been selling, and start bumping up the prices. And hey, I've got BSR to ride through the year, and they're good designs, and they're going to sit on the first page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I'm thinking when Christmas time next year around, with these ones, you can up the prices, and then if you decide to upload new ones, you can keep them at $11.99 and do the same thing over and over and over every single year. Rinse and repeat, right?
Well, and the other thing we learned this December is pop sockets are going to sell longer on delivery than T-shirts are, because they just started to cut off not long ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think people are still buying them as Christmas gifts too. I mean, that's, but yeah, the delivery time on those was much longer than those shirts.
No, shirts were longer. Oh, you mean like when they were still? Yeah.
I mean, shirts definitely went out longer than I thought they were going to go too. Like, you were still getting shirts delivered, pretty close to, I think it was the 16th or 17th. We were still getting pretty good sales on the shirts.
Yeah, but the shirts started to get an extended delivery time much sooner than the pop sockets did. Pop sockets just flipped into delivering after Christmas just a couple of days ago, 2-3 days ago.
Yep. I gotcha.
Yeah, Z. Thanks to Neil for answering his message. Selfish, mean person. Nah.
That brings up another neat topic. What's going on with Neil?
Go ahead. What's that topic?
Neil's a great artist, as seen on Matt's chest there on his.
This fine design right here was a Neil Lassen original.
Neil Lassen original. We need more of them. We need him to draw more. I think we could start a brand, and I will steal the brand from him and just listen.
If you guys want your own version of the shirt, it can be found in the Neil is Selfish brand, right?
I think so. I think he's got his own brand going there.
Matt has a brand too. He's been making
and we need to ask everybody here who sent Neil a dead duck.
I would actually like to know that myself. I was just sent a message and told. I was sent a message and told change your profile picture to a duckling.
Well, yeah.
I found out the details when Neil decided to post that duckling on my profile picture on Facebook.
Yeah, somebody sent him a dead duck in a jar with a little quartz crystal or something on the top. So
interesting.
He's digging into it, trying to find out who's. Yeah, either a duck, goose, as Linnell says. But
Well, wasn't Jacob Topping? Didn't he have ducks? And then didn't he also know Neil's address before because he delivered pizza to him? Correct?
I don't know. That would have been a chicken.
Oh, okay.
That's true. It wouldn't have been a duck.
Sorry, Jacob Topping.
What do you accuse Jacob? Like, Jacob is nothing but nice to you, supports you, loves you every time he sees you, like gives you daps, sends you money, and you're gonna say, wasn't that Jacob Topping?
Well, no, I didn't say.
Jacob, I got your back. All right, just in the future, send the money to me.
Jacob had cocks. No, okay, so we got 83 people watching. Go ahead and if you guys give this video a thumbs up, we're up to 5 down thumbs. It's pretty awesome.
All right, cool. So let's.
But yeah, what else about 2019? What do you guys think is going to happen?
What are you working on for 2019 right now? Like, what's a big thing that? Okay, what's your big thing in December? Are you working you're working ahead, right? Because you're already I'm pretty sure a lot of people would love to know that from you because you said 13,000 royalties last 7 days, and I'm pretty sure they have a lot of questions for you. If you guys don't, I'm gonna choke you. So what are you working on right now?
Here's I think the bigger issue to work on is the way I'm foreseeing it is more products are going to be added, more markets are being added, your accounts are getting bigger and bigger, you're getting more and more listings, and my focus right now is cleaning that up, making some semblance of it so that when I get to 50,000, 75,000, 100,000 listings, that I have some kind of a system in place that I can replace good listings. I'm tracking prices, I'm tracking what's going on. And so that's taking up a lot of my time right now. I'm using it kind of as a cleanup session. What's happening in Q4 right now is happening. And nothing I'm really going to do other than play with some AMS ads, which is another one. I'm only running half a dozen AMS ads right now on some of the real big hitters that have strong competition. Short of that, I need to dig into what Matt's saying. I mean, I almost want to fly Matt up here to Vegas for a day, sit down with him for what he knows on AMS and go through my account and nail it all. Things like that. How do you organize your account so that you're ready to do AMS? You're ready to branch out into brands. That's the other focus next year is building a brand, branching it all out to the US, to DE, to UK, and other markets that might open.
Interesting. Yeah. So building that brand, I think it's one of the most important things that we've been talking about for 2019 too, as well. We can go on and on about that one.
I just actually had I just did an interview today with a good friend of ours. That's like kind of her specialty is brands and building brands. Like she's worked with Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, like some really large brands and influencer marketing that I'm going to release in a couple days on my channel. Just kind of talking a little bit about what our focus is on 2019, because the brand thing I think is central to what we're doing, right? Like I try and focus on making sure everything we're doing is working together. I don't want to be doing like this thing over here and this thing over here and being spread real thin. So for me, brand is everything right now. I want to focus on building an audience, building something that I can control to be able to direct that traffic wherever I want, whether that's merch, whether that's Etsy, whether that's our own Shopify store. I think that one of the biggest lessons I took from 2018 is things change rapidly on Merch by Amazon. What works one day does not necessarily work the next, and you can't necessarily count on the designs or the listings that you had prior to constantly always bring you in money. But what you can count on is if you have an audience that you interact with, if you have people that like your stuff, is having that and being able to direct that traffic, then you make sure that you have constant demand for your stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that I'm looking at seriously is, I guess, the culmination of 2015 to the end of 18 right now has just been, it's been a ride. I mean, it's been a surfboard out in the middle of the wave, but it's caused a lot of confusion on the accounts, and I've seen this with other people. It's been such a rush that maybe it's time to slow down a little and make sure you're ready to go forward. And what I see this with brands is a big one is where everybody's just listing everything. I mean, any kind of shirt you can get, you throw under this brand that's got no cohesiveness. And start really considering cohesiveness in your brand. Like, what makes a brand like Ripple Junction or some of these other Snorg tees or dollar tees? What makes them stand out over other stuff? Well, they don't list 1,000 birthday shirts underneath their brand. You can look at a page of designs for them and cohesively look at their brand and say, they got something going on here. They've got kind of a style that they run. They've got a style of art. and give that more consideration. You don't need to run one brand and run everything under that brand, as we see some people on merch. I don't necessarily think that's the best way to do it. It's not bad to run one company and have a number of brands under it, and you see that online as well. And how do you break that out, and how do you make it very distinctive? I mean, I think there's a great brand out there that's got some cohesiveness. Is Leak or Lick or however you say it. I mean, anybody can look at that brand and see it's got a cohesive style, right?
Right.
And people even break it out into a Leak, whatever this, whatever that, into the different niches. But I think people need to give that more consideration. And I mean, even the days of my brand is happy birthday shirt, unicorn riding a turtle t-shirt is my brand. I think those days are really sloppy, and it's going to catch up with people in the future. So I'm probably going to spend the first quarter just cleaning things up, building brands, trademarking a couple of brands, copyright registering some stuff, getting on that bandwagon. 2019, I think, is going to be the day of killing off copyright derivatives. People need to understand and get some legal counsel on what a derivative is and go hit them. Merch isn't happy with them. They don't want to see 3,000 of the same dabbing Santa that's all been copied from one person. I mean, get some originality in your designs and stand up for them and protect them.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to talk about right now, the copyright side. Not just copyright, but also just the originality, and also like on the brand side. I know that you've been a champion of the tag, like a designer tag and all the listings. Is there any chance that we might see that in 2019?
I've had a lot of discussions. I push that pretty hard in Seattle with merch. I push it every chance I get. They like the idea. I think it's just something's going to happen there. I think they know something has to happen to get something cleaned up there, because they're not happy with all the copying going on. But how do you manage it, right? Like, how do you bring it together and logically do this? And I see some people say, well, just flip the switch tomorrow and change all this. Well, it's not how it works. And I know they've been looking at, does everybody get a single brand and everybody has to put it under the brand? And I've been championing let us choose our brands, or let us choose to play within the Amazon seller type of a theory, where you trademark a brand, you get brand registry, you're protected, right?
Right.
Or just put a design by, do like a Redbubble or a TeePublic, where you click on the one guy's name and his whole store comes up. And that's not to say, oh, well, everybody's going to copy him. No. We have a community within merch, and the moment you click on that design by tag, kind of like the fan art or the collab program, you can go search that person and bring up everything they listed, regardless of where it's listed in collab. And now they can't hide their 100 copycat shirts under a different brand and be anonymous. All of a sudden, the community is going to say, "Wow, look at this guy! He's got 800 really good shirts, and he's got 50 copycats here." Like, we don't know who this is, but people are going to call him out and let the community police it.
Right, exactly. I mean, and also you'll find out really quickly, because we've seen this. If he's copying one design, he's copying multiples.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or using.
It's a cancer. It's a cancer. And the other thing that I see in the groups is people keep saying there's this stigma that people think that unless it's pixel for pixel, you can't report it. That's wrong. I mean, go study up on copyright. If number one, you need to be original. You need to actually have an original design, not something you saw on the internet and recreated yourself and then say, hey, take everyone else down. No, but if you have an original design, and this ties into part of your brand type theory, go copyright the thing. Go register it for $35, $55, right? Go protect your asset, and then as the asset gets copied, protect it. And I'd say to everybody, go read up on what derivative copyright is. And the original copyright owner has owners over derivative copyright. And it's a little loosey-goosey, it's a little subjective, but in a court of law, you need to understand what that is and how it plays out. Start protecting your stuff.
I mean, I think the thing that really is, talking with you and talking with some other people, I've become very aware of, especially since I've become more active with the trademark watchdogs. I think legal opinion, like actually talking to a lawyer, is something that anybody that's serious about this business needs to do. You need to actually talk to a lawyer and get a lawyer's opinion on some of these things, and stop depending on what you're seeing in the Facebook group. Stop depending on what is on a blog article or anything else. Like, talk to somebody that's actually paid as a professional to do this stuff, because there are ramifications to making certain decisions. And I think that 2019, we might see some of those things play out.
I think you'll see some monetary suits next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people are getting smart enough to realize that it's not just a cease and desist. Like, do people understand that if you get a copyright registration, you don't just file a cease and desist letter, a takedown. You file a legal letter that says you're going to pay us X within X number of hours, or we're going to go for a suit. You've got that choice, and that's the way it plays out. I mean, that copyright registration protection in some ways is even more strict and better for protection than any kind of trademark could be. Trademark's going to be some big federal litigation. Copyright, it's cut and dried. You got a registration, you broke the registration, we're going to bring our lawyer after you. And in the first 3 months, you can claim legal fees. You know, it's not going to take many people to get hit with something like that. And I know there's been a few people that have been hit for mistakes they've made, and it's cost them thousands of dollars. It's not going to take many of those and things start to clean up, but nobody wants to jump. I mean, everybody wants to put up 1,000 birthday shirts and then say, well, I'm not going to copyright register $55 a piece for those. No, of course not. Go build a brand and go build something you want to protect and then do it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think originality is the other thing that I think me and RJ talk about all the time, right? Like, you have to figure out a way to be original on the platform. You have to figure out a way to do something that's different from what everybody else is doing. Otherwise, you're just not going to stand out. You're not going to get sales.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, go ahead, Roger.
No, that's what I think too. It's one of the biggest things I learned in this whole year is being different, man. You want to be different from everybody, and that's how you're gonna get it away from everybody, like the competition. That's how you're gonna stand out, and of course, generate more sales and everything like that. But of course, you get irritated when people copy your stuff pixel for pixel. So that's very frustrating too. Like, I understand why people get mad, but then you can't you can't go backwards neither though. Like,
there's two things I see here, and one is like you made a joke about the research packs, right? Like,
yeah.
You know what? The reason that those tick me off when I see, hey, I'm selling the best researched 100 shirts or the best researched 100 that or 100 this. The problem is people jump into that. They look at the screen that they're given, and they either hand it to their designer or do it themselves and change the colors, change the font, and keep the design. And all of a sudden, you've got a copycat, really, of what was just handed to them. And they haven't learned the process of how to be original. I hate the word improve cat. I mean, if you're doing research right, it's like going out to the market and seeing what's selling. Like, wow, okay, so I don't know, something fly fishing is selling now. Well, let's see what part of fly fishing is selling and go make an original design, an original saying on it. But the problem I have is people are thinking there's an easy button to research. Somebody can just hand them the research, hand them the words, and they can go put up a design and start selling. It drives me crazy because they don't learn anything. They don't learn how to function within the community, and then they just make a mess. And that's why I say some of those people are going to get nailed with copyright infringements next year. I'm just telling people enough's enough. Stop playing around with this. If your improve catting just means changing the font and changing what the graphic looks like because Santa is doing some kind of a pose, and so you redraw Santa, well, you still infringed on the copyright. Read up on it and realize what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now so 125K for 2018. That's how much you've done so far?
Yeah.
What's the best advice you would give to somebody to actually achieve that goal, which is making 6 figures in a year on merch by Amazon? What's the best advice that you give to someone? Like, what should they do to achieve over 100K a year?
Fatten your niches. I keep telling people. I mean, I've seen a couple of posts here just in the last few days about some people that actually listened, and they're saying, hey, I actually listened to Ken and I went into my niches, even competitive. I saw one that was talking about keto today. I thought was pretty cool. He's like, I went into this and there's already thousands of shirts, and I followed what you said with good designs, good keywords, a good cohesive brand, and hit it hard. And lo and behold, the next thing I know, within a week or two, I'm selling. And it's any competitive niche can be broken into because anything's going to cycle. Even the good shirts are going to drop down. People are looking for new content, and that new content is going to rise. The ones that get discouraged, number one, either don't have designs that are past the mediocre stage, or number two, are spread too thin. That's the two things that I've seen with people. So you just gotta do what you enjoy. You gotta know what your niches are. You gotta know what the colors are. You gotta know what the phrases are. You gotta know what connects with people. and you need to know what you're putting up before you do it. 80% of my time is research.
Yeah.
It's not even pen on paper. It's knowing what should be selling even before you start putting a design up.
100%. I mean, that's something me and RJ talk about all the time. It's our favorite part of what we do. Like the research part, it says you find the little gems, you find the areas where there's white spots, where there's opportunity, and you're like, I know I can make this design, make it look like this, and it's going to sell, and it happens.
Yeah, and if you enjoy the niche you're in, if you know something about it and you're actually interested in it, it's a lot easier to design.
Right.
And get sales.
Neil says no one ever wants to fatten their niches for some reason. Not sure why. I think people it's shiny object syndrome. Like they see a shirt selling well in a different niche, and they're like, well, I need to go there now. Instead of like just thinking about how I can own the real estate that I'm in.
Yeah.
Like I keep talking about I've done coaching calls, and I can't even count how many now, but part of it is asking person, well, how many niches are you in? And we did this with Anthony. I was hoping he'd be on tonight and I could see if he changed anything. But I mean, how many niches you're in? And the common response is, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, how many live shirts have you got up? Well, 1,000. Okay, how many niches? Well, maybe 50 or 100. Okay, how many shirts in your best niche? Oh, I don't know, 5, 6. And I'm like, I'm in 25, 35 listings in a weak niche. Like you're spread so thin, it's just a hook in every lake across the country, and you're hoping to get sales. And then you jump into somebody else and you look at their brand, and they have 200 shirts in a brand, and they have 5 unique designs.
Yeah.
And they wonder why they don't get sales. Well, I'll tell you why you don't get sales. Have you ever walked, I keep saying this, have you ever walked into Old Navy and looked at the t-shirt rack? How many of the same design do you see in different colors and different fonts?
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
You don't. You see one shirt in one color, and you see 100 more designs in different colors, different phrases. They may all be the same kind of a niche that they're in, or same kind of a focus, but you have 100 different options to look at. And if your brand looks like that, all of a sudden you start getting sales.
Yeah.
Because if I click on a brand and there's 100 of the same shirt and 100 different colors, I click back and go somewhere else.
Right. I mean, I think, in some ways that's kind of because it used to work, right? Like just throwing up as much stuff as possible, like you would get numbers because of that. Just the more stuff you had up, the more money you would make. But the competition has gotten to the point, the quality has gotten to the point where you can't do that anymore. You have to do something to stand out, something to be different. I have a feeling that's why our friend got a little pissed off the other day and decided to go at me and call me a charlatan.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing I can come up with because, like, don't think my profile necessarily is somebody that would have had that comment come out.
Most of what's listed there is derivative bullshit anyway.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, well, so congratulations on that too as well, accomplishing that goal. That's pretty badass. So good job.
I mean, anybody can do this. I mean, yeah, there's competition. Yeah, there's a lot of shirts, but there's lots of products. There's lots of things you can get into. There's trending holidays. There's, just evergreen. There's licensing. I mean, I'm surprised more people haven't gotten into licensing. I mean, yeah, it takes work, but hey, I'll tell you, it kicks butt on working out a whole bunch of evergreen or holiday shirts all the time. And the business model. I mean, I know people look at Mike Wall and they think, well, yeah, sure. They don't believe his numbers or they don't think, or the other one I see is, yeah, he's $1 million Mike, but I'm sure he spent 950,000 of that to make 50 grand. No, I mean, he's bringing in some real numbers here, and there's a whole nother model. It just, where are you going to apply yourself and where are you going to be good at? And you have to ask yourself that. And really look at it hard and see, am I being original? Am I building something? Am I really actually, good at what I do? And if I'm not, I'd better figure out how to be good.
Yeah. I'm treating this like a real business. I think that's one of the things that I think a lot of people don't. It's a hobby. Then they get upset when they don't make money, when it's like, you have to invest yourself into it. You have to actually put some time, work, and effort to see success.
I mean, how many people right now listening have a business plan?
How many that like people that I talk to, I've been doing coaching calls and they're still like lost on a lot of things, like barely like the design and all that stuff. And they just get, I don't know, they get thrown off. And I'm just like, dude.
No, but a business plan.
Yeah.
What is a business plan? And if people don't even know, most people I talk to, what's a business plan? well, let's go back to square one. And this is the advantage. Like I know, Matt, you run your own pool company. I mean, you're looking at outlooks for the year, what you're going to try and accomplish, and you're going to lay out things that you're going to do to try and accomplish that in a year. At the end of the year or the end of 6 months, you're going to review that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've already done that with this business. Like, we already know exactly where we're headed in this business. We may reevaluate based on what our results are midway through the year, third of the way through the year, whatever. But I know exactly what I'm doing for the first quarter, probably through the second quarter.
Yeah, like by the end of the first quarter, you know exactly what numbers you want to accomplish by how many designs, maybe how many VAs you have, what you've changed for keywords, what you're doing for ads, like how many ads are you going to put up? Like, let's look at some real numbers and judge yourself at the end of the quarter for what you're going to accomplish. 9 out of 10 people I talk to are just looking at Merch Informer, and nothing against Merch Informer. I love it. But they're looking at a research pack, or they're looking at an Amazon search or Merch Informer. They're looking at the top 50 sellers and saying, oh, I'm going to make some shirts and I'm going to go put them up. And then at the end of the quarter, they wonder why they don't have any money.
Yeah. I mean, I think the nature of this business, right? The nature of merch is it's very easy to get lost in the day-to-day, because you just every day you want to upload shirts and everything else, and you get stuck in that grind. And I think what you're talking about is really key to success. Like, you need to have a plan, a direction that you want to attack, and because that shapes everything else that you're doing. Because if you get locked up in the day-to-day, like, it becomes really easy to get stuck in that grind and ignore larger plans.
Very easy, and very easy to screw up your account. I've seen a lot of people get through the low tiers up to 1,000 or 2,000 or even 4,000 tier, and they've completely messed up their account, and they wonder why they're not getting as many sales as they did when they were tier 100. Well, they have no focus.
And honestly, too, right now, guys, like I'm gonna be my business plan. I'm kind of lost right now, because I'm lost in a good way, though, because I know, like, I know what I'm capable of and I know what I can do, but I'm just like, do I move away, or do I open shop? Do I go into like dispensary business? I don't know what to do right now. So it just, I don't know. We're all going our own ways. Like, merch, print on demand is just one business. And there's so many different ways that we can make money by leveraging print on demand into another business.
Oh, and that's the exciting part about 2019 is not focusing just on merch, but are you building a Shopify? Are you building an Etsy? Are you looking at, like, I see a lot of people saying, hey, this is kind of cool. I mean, I can run merch. I can let them do that. But if I want to do something special, I'll go buy the machine. I'll go buy a printer. I'll go buy a press. I'll do something unique that allows me to get into something else. I'll find something that sets you apart from everyone else. I mean, that makes you unique, and all of a sudden the money's going to roll in. Spread out to Etsy, spread out to KDP, spread out to Amazon Homemade. I mean, go look at other platforms. Go do something that allows you to branch out and have those multiple streams. I think, RJ, you were talking about multiple streams there the other day. Like, how many streams do you have? And the successful people are going to have multiple streams coming in and not focus just on one.
Yeah, and also too, another thing is time management is very important. Matt, I'm pretty sure you're doing a lot right now, but your time management is pretty good, I think, right?
I mean, it has to like it. I don't have a choice. Yeah, like there's no free moments in the day. You don't run a business during the day and do all of that, and then come home and work on all the rest of the stuff without having some kind of plan, because otherwise nothing's getting done.
Yeah.
What about you, Ken? I know you've got the sign business still.
I'm done with everything. I'm going out. So,
the sign business, you know what? It doesn't interest me lugging stuff around on the street in 115-degree weather.
Right.
It just doesn't interest me. And that's part of. I keep telling people. They say, "Well, Ken, why don't you expand things out?" Well, you know what? I'm pretty happy right now. Money's not everything. As long as I'm covering things and I'm happy in life, my family's happy, I'm covered. Do what makes you happy. Because if you're hating every day, if you hate doing merch, why the hell are you doing merch? Right? Like, figure out what makes you happy.
I mean, there's more ways to make money online than people can count too. Like, this just happens to be, I think, it's a particularly, I don't want to say easy, because I think that discounts it, but I mean, in terms of risk and everything else, the risk reward, like, it's pretty amazing.
Oh, it's minimal. I mean, it's time management, and it's your own effort.
Yep.
And if you do it right, you make a lot of money. I mean, I'm no big dog. I mean, my numbers are nothing. I'm not the big dog in the house. I know people are just crushing it out there. But do I want to hire more people? I've ran a business that's had 40, 50, 60 employees. I've managed 40 truckers before. Do I really want to do that again? No. I don't want employees.
So if you guys have any questions for Ken, now's the time to ask them. Let's start getting some questions in, please. And Matt with RJ's elf panties. Thank you. Appreciate it. Now I have to go buy some and take a picture and send it to you.
RJ likes being a model. We've already seen these photos.
Oh, God.
Big screen, baby.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus.
That was funny in Seattle.
What do we got coming in here?
What do you got for questions?
There goes Neil right there. How's your family accounts doing for Q4?
Not bad. My daughter's probably doing the best. My wife's had to focus on other stuff, so hers has kind of waned. We'll take a look at that a little harder in Q1. I've been so focused on my own account that I haven't looked at it. My sons are still making, a couple $100 a month, doing nothing with merch. My daughter, she's got a pop socket that's in the top 10 right now, so it's paying for her college.
Nice.
Very nice.
So yeah, it's good. Not going to complain. Lots of opportunity. So
Eric Rosner, do you think we'll see a new merch interface upgrade soon?
There's something coming.
Are you allowed to talk on that? What's coming?
No.
What's coming, Ken? Give us a hint.
I told you the hint at the beginning. There's going to be changes to the dashboard. There's going to be changes to uploading.
Yeah, I think
part of the ASIN change to get multiple products and multiple uploads required the ASIN change.
Gotcha. Okay. Tim's question is, do we think we'll ever see a point where we can upload to all three at once? Just hit a button and it goes everywhere?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I also think you're going to see a one button, pick all the products you want, pick all the markets you want. Boom.
Yeah, that would be really, really, really nice.
And I know price edits are up there too.
God, that would be nice. Not having to just tab and use Merch Batcher over and over and over again.
But see, here's the thing about that. What people don't realize about merch, and when you talk about their staff's not this massive floor of people. I mean, they're a small team, and what their team accomplishes, I think, is just absolutely amazing. Some people say, well, why don't they just get in the developers? I'm a developer, and I could change that dashboard in a couple of weeks. Like, come on, this is petty. Well, you know what? The squeaky parts of the wheel get the grease, right? That the most important things are the things they work on, and what's important to you may not be important to what their business plan is.
Yep.
One of the things, and they've said this, everybody wanted Europe, right? And this was explained to us in Seattle. Everybody wanted Europe. So what did they do to the ship? They moved the ship to going after Europe and delivering what we wanted. And then everybody said, well, yeah, it's so tedious. The reward's not good. What else are you going to give us? And they're like, you know what? We were working on this before, and we went over here to give you something you wanted. And now you don't want it. So maybe we're going to go back to working on what we want. And, just leave the management to them. Does it tick us off at times? Yeah. Do I get ticked off? Yeah. Have I had my own shirt taken down on my own report? Yeah. Have I had crappy things go on? Yeah. You know what? Hold on to the handle, because if you want to sit and bitch, you're just going to fall off and go by the wayside. See it for what it is. See how much money you've actually put into merch and value it out to what you've made. And then say, hey, do I want to make a decision to keep going with them? So it's nice to have a little bit of an advantage of, chatting on a pretty regular basis with some of the managers at merch. It doesn't give me an advantage. It's not like, oh, Ken gets something extra. It's a trust thing. And I'll share what I can. I know Chris will share what he can. And over the last 6 months, a number of other people have started to get some conversation going with merch management too. They're trying to reach out to the community. But here's the thing. If they start putting out their email address to everybody, 10,000 people are going to say, can you help me with this little thing? And it just can't happen. So,
yeah. So here's a question from Kim. Did Amazon ever reply about Merch Wizard and that it's okay to use? And I don't mean necessarily Merch Wizard, but I know that you've mentioned that talking with them about some of the products that we use and getting their feedback on it. Do you think we have that coming in the future?
Yeah, I'm right now. A lot of the talk I've got with management is different extensions, different programs, different software. They want to look at them. They see the value of them. Unless you're doing something really crazy, gaming the system or pushing the system hard, they're not going to come after you for a lot of these things. I'm not going to say one way or the other on Merch Wizard. I put it up the line. Their team is looking at stuff, and I wouldn't be too concerned about it. They are looking. One thing in Seattle that they mentioned about third-party extensions is if you are developing one or have an extension that you want looked at, just throw me your email or give me a private message. I'll pass it on to them and get a private conversation going. Now, understand that Amazon and the merch team tends to work on their own timeline. I could get told that, hey, Ken, we want a conference call Wednesday afternoon, and 12 noon comes around and no call, and then they're like, tomorrow they call and say, oh, this meeting came up, can we meet next week? It's all on their own time schedule, so it's just not going to happen lickety split when you try and get an answer. But Merch Wizard, Merch Tools, what are some of the others? Pretty Merch, Merch Informer. I mean, they're all. I've given off a list of tools for them to take a look at, and usually they'll let us know if there's a problem. Don't think that you're going to get banned for using something unless you're doing something really stupid. Unless you're running a bunch of VPNs and a bunch of accounts and a bunch of uploaders and things like that. I mean, they track trends, they track uploading, they can see when something's not right, and that's when you should probably concern yourself. So.
Okay. So Lawrence says that his wife just got a merch account. Is it okay to use the same computer?
Yeah.
In case you guys are wondering, Ken is like literally proof of that. I think you've got 5 people in the household that use basically the same.
Well, 3 or 4 computers, but the same line.
Right.
One caveat I would put out on that, I think we're seeing a shift in talking to merch management. In the beginning, it was, one account per person. And I know Amazon is kind of like one household type account thing. Mm-hmm. I think they're moving more towards that. And I tend to agree. If I did it again, there's no reason for my kids or my wife to have an account. Just put it on mine. Put it all on one account. Like it's not a big deal. And I think the concern was 2 years ago, well, if one person gets banned, I need a backup. Get rid of that thought process. People need to stop being worried about being banned. The people that get banned are people that are doing something wrong. There is always a reason they get terminated, guaranteed. And I've even gone to bat on some that have gotten terminated with merch management, and the response back is, yeah, we looked hard and long at this, but they are never coming back.
Yeah. I mean, my thought originally, and I was pretty vocal because I was pretty upset how hard it was to get Aaron an account. Yeah. But my thought originally was like just that the tier, once you hit a certain tier, tier 10K, tier 12K, it became really difficult to get a bump up. So our thought was that's how we would expand our business by having the multiple accounts. But
I don't think that's a problem in the future.
It's not.
Tier ups are just going to come. I mean, they're going to give you the slots you need. So.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like we fought really hard for that account. We got it, and it's sitting at tier 500. It's been sitting at tier 500 for 6 months because there's no reason to upload to it. We're just uploading to the one we have.
I mean, when they have 25 machines in a warehouse printing shirts, they're not about to go crazy on tier ups. But I mean, now they've expanded out to 2 plants, a third one in Europe. They're looking at other plants. I've seen the production on the floor. I've seen what they have for backup. I mean, the concern is not how many tiers you got. You know what the concern is now? We want a quality catalog. If we're going to give you a 10,000 listings, we don't want 10,000 crap listings that are up that are just going to sell. And that's why you see them dropping off too. And even that they've been lenient with. They've increased the number of days that a listing stays up. And part of that's based on data. They just know that if a shirt doesn't sell in a certain number of days, it'll never sell. So don't worry about tiers. Don't worry about getting banned. If you're worrying about getting banned, you might want to have somebody give you a second opinion, looking at your account, why you think you might be banned. Right. They don't ban people just out of the blue because you made a mistake. They don't ban you because you use shit instead of t-shirt. They don't ban you because you accidentally choose youth on 2 shirts that should have gone to adult. They ban you if you keep doing things over and over and over again and are stupid with it. And don't and lower tiers. Don't push things at a lower tier. I mean, if you're at a higher tier, if you're tier 20,000, you've got a certain level of trust built into your account. You make You upload 100 shirts and you made a mistake on them and they reject 100. I'm not concerned with that. If I'm tier 100 and I just put up 50 shirts and all of them got rejected, I got a bit of an issue because I'm trying to get past level 1, right? It's like a video game. You don't get past level 1 and you die, you don't deserve level 2.
Right.
And the higher the tier you go, the more trust is given to you.
So,
it's proven.
What's the best way to find a evergreen niche? What's the best way?
Do the stuff you like.
Right.
That's the most evergreen you can get.
Here's a good question, actually, and I think it addresses something we talked about earlier. Yazid asks, copyright question. You talk about originality and registering your art. Can someone draw a damning Santa as an example and own that design? What's like the copyright situation there?
There's
some gray.
Yeah, there's some great. Number 1, talk to an attorney. Number 2, simple text designs are not copyrightable, even hand-drawn stuff like hand lettering. Just because you hand letter a cute little Christmas message, that's not copyrightable. Part of it is understanding what is copyrightable with the copyright office. But to think that you can go draw dabbing Santa right now and go register it and go nail everybody else, no, that's not the way copyright works either. You do have a right to what your originality was, especially the guy that was first. I'd use one example, and this one's kind of an interesting one. Has anybody seen the shirt that made the news called Caucasians?
Mm-hmm.
The guy did the Cleveland Indians, but he said the Caucasians, and he took the Indian logo and changed it into a white guy with glasses or something.
Yeah.
You know, he went out and copyright registered that, right?
No, I hadn't followed up on it, but I know what you're talking about.
And that's part of the reason he had all the takedowns going, and people were throwing those up when it hit the news. And see, that's an example of somebody that is a good copyright, that is good parody, is not illegal against the Indians, but he registered that art at the beginning, and he has every right to take down every derivative after that, right? So the first guy that drew the diving Santa, if he was smart enough to go out and register it, yeah, he's got a claim to it. But if you're not first and you can't honestly say you're first, you have no right to going copyright registering that and trying to take other people down.
Okay. So all right. What's everyone's goals for 2019?
Go ahead. What's your goal?
I just want, honestly, they said quarter 4 2019, but we'll just say 2019. I just want to keep on growing. I've doubled what I've done last year, and just keep on growing and helping people. I actually enjoy helping people, so this is what I like to do. Welcome, guys. What's up?
Ken?
You know what? Just kind of plan things out. I want to build some brands. I want to explore that. I'm actually having a little bit of fun with KDP.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of fun, and it's not just to blow up 10,000 stupid empty journals.
Yeah.
But you know what? I played with it December, and I think I put up, I don't know, I think I have 4 listings now, 3 listings, and I've sold 6 in a week. You know, It's kind of fun. And if you find out the right niche or, do something you enjoy, and I've got a lot of ideas for that kind of separates me from other people. I want to explore Europe. I really want to go after Etsy. I should have done that this year. I've been saying it for a year, but, get back into some of that customer service stuff that I do enjoy. And the other side of it is Trademark Watchdogs. It's consuming a lot of time. A little bit update on that. We spent some money for an attorney. We are looking at maybe filing a cancellation here in the next week, spending some more of that money. If you're not part of the Patreon, if you are part of the Patreon and think that I wonder what the money's going to, I haven't had time, but I'm going to give an update in the Watchdogs. We've got a little bit of a kitty now, and we're going to look for some cancellations and go after some people that are frivolous. It's been marvelous. I know Morgan, I haven't read it yet, but today she got back a letter from the director at the USPTO. So there's some upper tier stuff that's going on with Watchdogs. And you know what? When merch is on cruise control for me, it allows me to spend time on these other things I think are valuable for the community that I don't make money on, but it makes all of us a lot of money.
Yeah, it's. I'll tell you right now, guys. We have, I think it was like 134 last time I looked.
42.
Nice. It's probably the most we've ever had live. Check out the Trademark Watchdogs. You guys are here for a reason. You guys are watching us right now for a reason, because you guys are probably invested in this. You're interested and you want to grow your business and be in this long term. That, to me, more than anything else, I'll be honest with you, I think it's the most important thing that we're doing right now. The long-term health of print on demand and being able to create stuff and not run into trademark trolls, like that's what Watchdogs is all about. And for $2 a month, you can make a real big difference.
Yeah, for sure. And then also the Facebook group down below, 142 people watching. Should see about 120 people join that group after this show. So if you guys are not in there,
my goal for. Are you gonna run me over?
No, you're good.
My goal for 2019, we are completely and totally focused on brand. And something Ken said right now, with regards to like merch working on autopilot and allowing him to do other things, that's really kind of the way that we've treated our merch business. I haven't uploaded a shirt. I think I uploaded 8 shirts in November. The last time I really uploaded was in October, and we just put it on autopilot because we're so focused on Etsy and building out our Etsy business. And merch just has crushed for us. It's been a great Q4, and I haven't had to really put a whole lot of work into it. Having an asset like that that brings in cash flow and allows you to focus on other things and not spend time, it's invaluable.
Want to know a secret about this year? I'd say my uploads for shirts this year were less than 10% of my total. I've done very little for uploading shirts. Most of it has been focused on licensing and things like that are high turnaround stuff. But I've spent so much time on other stuff. I mean, right. Watchdogs and just having fun. I put up a lot of pop sockets, but for shirts, you know what? It proves that if you build a real cohesive, passive type stream,
yeah, you can rock. That actually that doesn't surprise me. Just considering like last year, I remember what it was like when you were uploading. Because you were always online. Like I could always get a hold of you if I had a question, anything else. Yeah. Like Ken's been doing a lot of other things this year.
Yeah.
And Dave Kadoff has a great point. $5 would be better than $2. Give what you guys can afford. But the more you give, the more we can do.
There's 6,000 going on 7,000 Watchdogs right now. If we could get just 2,000 of them giving $2 a month, and I'm not begging. I take that money very seriously with a lot of care. But what it is crowdsource. We need to finally get off the fence here and get a group of people that want to put a little bit of effort and a little bit of money in, and all of a sudden we can start taking down. I mean, I'm being serious. That Under Armour thing that hit, there's no reason if we weren't better situated in a year or two with 25,000 members giving $1 that we couldn't talk to Alex and say, hey, we're going to throw $20,000 a month in to help your case and go after Under Armour, and we're going to hit the news. We're going to hit the media. We're going to take down these asses, really is what they are, and make a stand and be on CNN and be on Fox and be on the front page of a Financial Post or something about how Watchdogs are fighting back and Under Armour just lost a case. I mean, and I'm going to point it at that. There's some garbage going on all the way to these big companies, and it's hurting little companies. And if you don't think it hurts you, it's gonna. And I mean, we need to band together, and it all takes just a little bit of time. 15 minutes a week. Go learn how to do a letters of protest. It'll take you 15 minutes when you learn how to do it. If I could have 100 people a week doing that out of the group, we'd crush it. Absolutely crush it. The USPTO has already changed how they're doing things right now. I mean, they're putting in electronic. Because all of a sudden they're getting flooded with these letters of protest. And it's not about being a bully. It's about standing up for what's right and stopping what's going on in the industry and getting some notice. And as we do that, I mean, it'll roll. And right now, I mean, we're sitting on about $1,800 a month coming into the Patreon. We're paying for a full-time VA. She's doing work for helping gather evidence and things like that. And we're actually, after 4 or 5 months, 6 months, we've got a little bit of a kitty that we can say, hey, let's go after 2 cancellations that'll cost us $1,500 a piece.
Yep.
And spend $3,000 to get us some of that street cred, I guess you could say.
I mean, that's the name of the game, is like once some of this starts happening, right? Like, how do you change behavior? It's not by, asking somebody to change their behavior. It's like you hit them in the mouth.
Yeah.
And suddenly they wake up. Here's a question I think that we should address at least, because it refers to Watchdogs. How do we communicate legitimate trademarks to the Watchdogs so we don't get a letter of protest?
It's kind of a tough one, because if somebody feels that a trademark application is going in that will infringe on something they're doing, and I know this is very subjective, you're going to have to, and here's the way I say it. If you can't defend your application or defend your trademark, you don't deserve the trademark. And I've seen a lot of them that we've talked about as admins, and it's kind of been like, no, there's no reason to file one. I mean, he's got some unique Google type name, or he's doing something unique to the industry. The problem is there's a stigma in the industry that is incorrect, and people think that if they trademark a phrase, it kills the industry. They have complete protection on a phrase. That's not the way it works. And I saw one just the other day for Cupid. And I think somebody asked, can I use the word Cupid because they're filing or they have a registration in whatever class? I said, well, if they're in the class of chocolates, like they're making chocolates in the size of Cupid and their company's called Cupid, if you come into the chocolate industry and start calling yourself Cupid, you now have confusion in the market. The t-shirt industry is so much different. Just because you have the registration for Cupid and t-shirts does not signify the fact that you can go kill everything in the industry. It's very specific to POD in that people have learned they can take the word Cupid, go file it with Amazon, and Amazon's going to take it down because they're not the referee. That doesn't mean that what you did was legal and right. It just means that they've pushed it out of Amazon into a fight between you and the rights owner. And if you go to court, you're going to beat that rights owner. And this is what Watchdogs is about, is starting to fight back and stand up for yourself, file a legal letter, and you're going to find that 9 out of 10 of these guys back down, and all they are is bullies.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most important thing you said there too is like, you need to be able to defend your trademark application. Like if you're applying for this, it needs to be legitimate. You need to make sure that you're actually applying to be a brand. Like the reason that you're trying to trademark something is it's unique to you. It's unique to a brand that, you know, there's going to be confusion if somebody else uses that. That's the reason that you're filing for a trademark.
The misconception right now is that if I think up a phrase, I can go trademark it and protect it. It's not a brand. Trademark is about brand. Trademark is not about protecting your phrase on a t-shirt. I couldn't give two craps if you thought up a phrase and now it's yours. You know what? That's not the way it works. If you thought up a phrase and made a design that's unique, go copyright register it. That's the way it works. Copyright the phrase. I mean, Mama Bear. She didn't think up a Mama Bear. Give me a break. I mean, that goes back to how many hundreds of years in fairy tales?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mama Bear is a prime example. Here's somebody that comes in, develops a couple of t-shirts and thinks that she's recognized as the Mama Bear. We're seeing the same thing with Girl Boss right now. We're going after that one. It's wrong. I mean, what these people think that they can take a phrase and call themselves it would be like me taking Merch Fairy and going and trademarking it because, oh, I'm the Merch Fairy. No, unless I build a brand around it, it's not. It's just not conducive to what's going on. And this is where people are messed up. Just because you think up a phrase doesn't mean that that's a trademark. Go build a brand. Go build a Nike and then think up of a catchphrase that is iconic and identifiable to your brand, like Just Do It, and then you trademark it.
Exactly.
Right? Because when you say that phrase, when you say Mama Bear in the market, who do you think of? Oh, everybody. Mama, soccer mom, whatever. You don't think of the company that was actually Mama Bear. And I'm going to pick on that one because that one's garbage. And we're going to go after it, and we have gone after it, and we're going to fight it to the end.
She's made me some money. My it's a Mama Bear thing. Sweatshirts are actually selling really well. I've been really happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think. Well.
Don't worry. I guess the bottom line. I know this is expanding on it. The bottom line is, if you're building a brand and you want to actually trademark a brand, go after it. Go trademark your brand, but be a legitimate brand and be something that's not just putting it on a t-shirt and saying, I'm trademarking Class 25 on t-shirts. No, go build a brand.
Exactly.
All right. This is going to be the last show of the year too, correct? Right, Matt?
Well, Anthony says he wants to come on next week. He wants a redo. So I'll leave it up to you. Wednesday's the day after Christmas. I don't know what your Christmas plans entail. If you're going and doing karaoke with Pops and you're not going to be in any shape to do a show or what.
Nah, good. Yeah, I don't know. Well, that was something to figure out, but I don't know. Well Anthony, he was the one that picked Thursday, anyways.
He was.
I was hoping to chat with that boy.
We weren't.
Yeah,
talk to him in a minute.
Thursday and call me a bad name.
You couldn't tell time.
Yeah.
Get over it, cult leader. I get called every bad name in the book.
Oh man.
Oh God. We should have named this cult leader Charlatan and the Merch Fairy. That's what we should have titled this episode.
What a week, right? What a week. What a way to end the year.
You could tell. I told this to Josh Gibson earlier. I was like, you can tell that things are winding down for Q4 because suddenly people have more time for drama on Facebook.
I know.
Yeah.
There's some weird water out there right now. There's a full moon, obviously.
It has been a weird week, but it's been a hell of a month, guys. It's been a good year too.
Fun. It kind of like this month actually kind of just helped you. Like,
hey, can I ask? Can I ask the 144 people watching right now to do something?
Go.
A little crazy. Send a thank you email to merch support. If you're happy about something, not about bitching, just send them an email that says, "Hey, I'd love to buy you a pizza if I were there, but hey, I just want to thank you for the work you do." Because you know what? There's actual human beings that read even every email, regardless of the kind of robotic response you get back. They have a stack of emails they got to go through. Send them a nice little email that says, "Hey, I don't need any support. I just want to say thanks for what you've done," or give them a story what they've changed in your life or what they did.
That's good.
Swamp them out at the end of the year so that they're actually spending a morning going through all the emails and say, holy smokes, we're actually appreciated, because they bust their humps. I've met them and they bust their humps.
You want to go ahead and tell them that email?
Just whatever the customer support is. I don't know. It's
on the merch dashboard, guys. I think it's on the merch dashboard.
Not the do not reply one, but just the support at merch or whatever that is. Take a minute.
So go ahead and send them an email, tell them thank you and appreciate tell them a success story. That would be pretty cool.
You're not going to know their names or their faces. Some of us do, but they really appreciate when that happens. They watch the community. They watch the groups. They're in the groups more than you know. They know what our thoughts are. They know what our pains are. They know when they're happy. They're trying to do things. Just simply show some appreciation. And for me, it's changed my life. So I'll be grateful, and that's just the way it is. So,
right, nice. I think that's a great way to end the show. We don't know if we're going to do a show next week or not. Me and RJ will talk. I think Anthony wants to come on, so we might do one last one.
Make an exception for Anthony,
I guess.
Okay. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you, Ken, for sharing all the information with us. Yeah. And that is it. Everybody give this video a thumbs up. And then we also have the Trademark Watchdogs group down below and Facebook group, and then the research too as well.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys.
Good night.